You are sitting at a red light. Next to you is a big, boxy SUV with brown leather seats inside. A tiny Jaguar logo sits on the steering wheel. The windows are tinted. Nothing about it stands out. That car was just bought outright with $65,000 cash. Not a single dollar was borrowed. The driver is a 54-year-old orthopedic surgeon in Dallas. He does not own a Tesla. He does not own a BMW. Just that 2022 Lexus GX 460, and an investment account that grows steadily every year. His neighbor pays $1,400 a month on a new Range Rover Sport. After 2 years, that car has lost nearly $28,000 in value. This is not a video about cars. This is a video about who actually understands how money works. The GX 460 first launched in 2009. The current version sold all the way through 2023 with almost no design changes, no curved screen, no semi-autonomous driving system, no 16-way massage seats. That is exactly why truly wealthy people buy it. The GX 460 runs on a body-on-frame platform. That is the same architecture used in pickup trucks. It is not unibody, unlike most modern luxury SUVs. This matters far more than you might think. Its four-wheel drive system uses a real mechanical transfer case. It is not an electronic AWD system prone to failure and costly repairs. The 4.6-liter V8, known as the 1GR FE, is pure Toyota engineering. It has powered the Land Cruiser and 4Runner for decades. It has proven itself across millions of miles on the harshest terrain on Earth. Pop the hood on a GX 460 and you will not see cheap composite hoses. Those are the kind that fail on a BMW X5 under high heat. What you see is a machine built to run 300,000 miles. One that will not hand you a $4,000 bill every 18 months. Let's get straight into the numbers. iSeeCars.com analyzed 1.3 million transactions from 2019 to 2024. Their data shows the GX 460 loses 30.2% after 5 years. That is the lowest depreciation rate in the mid-size luxury SUV segment. Compare that to similarly priced competitors. The BMW X5 loses 47.1% after 5 years. The Range Rover Sport loses 51.3%. The Maserati Levante loses 61.4%. An $88,000 Levante drops to about $34,000. That happens within 5 years. You just lost $54,000. That is 4 years of college tuition for a child. That is an investment in the S&P 500 that could double over 10 years. Over the same period, that $65,000 GX 460 holds its value. It still sits at around $45,500 on the used market. But depreciation is only half the story. RepairPal data shows the average annual maintenance cost for the Lexus GX. That figure comes in at $553. The BMW X5 runs $1,166, nearly double. The Range Rover Sport runs $1,258. The Maserati Levante is not in RepairPal's database due to low sales volume. J.D. Power's 2023 survey ranks it among the highest warranty cost vehicles. Add it all up, and here is what you get. The 5-year total cost of ownership for the GX 460 runs lower. It comes in $35,000 to $45,000 below the Range Rover Sport. That range depends on usage patterns and what actually breaks. Search Lexus GX 460 on YouTube, and you will find comments like these. Interior feels like a 2005 car. Drives like a bus. Screen looks like a cheap tablet. Correct. All of it is correct. The GX 460 does not have a 48-inch screen. No three-dimensional surround sound system. No smartphone self-parking feature. The control center looks like it was designed by a Toyota engineer. one following strict quality control procedures, not by an Italian designer chasing a luxury feeling. And that is exactly the point. Every complex tech feature is a potential point of failure. Range Rover's air suspension costs $3,000 to $8,000 to replace. BMW's iDrive screen from 2018 to 2021 had a notably high software failure rate. It was common enough to show up in HUTSA complaint filings. Those flashy features that look great on camera tend to break first. That happens right after the warranty runs out. The GX 460 does not have those features, so it does not have those problems either. This is where the story gets even more interesting. Kelley Blue Book's 2023 report points to an interesting buying pattern. More GX 460 buyers pay cash or finance less than 30% of the price. That rate runs notably higher than the luxury segment average. This is not the car of someone trying to live beyond their means. This is the car of someone who no longer needs to prove anything to anyone. There is a concept in personal finance called stealth wealth. It is not about hiding wealth out of shame. It is about not needing objects to announce your financial status to strangers. Thomas Stanley wrote The Millionaire Next Door, published in 1996. He later updated his research in Stop Acting Rich, released in 2009. He studied the spending habits of more than 1,000 American millionaires. Millionaires worth $1 to $5 million mostly skip Mercedes and BMW. It is a Toyota or a Lexus. Why is that? People who have actually built wealth do not need a car to prove their success. They have already succeeded. People who use luxury cars to signal status are usually still chasing success. They are not already there. This is an important psychological difference between the two groups, and it directly shapes their decisions over the next 10 to 20 years. Let's run a specific comparison between two hypothetical people. Both earn $250,000 a year. Person A, let's call him Marcus, buys a 2024 Range Rover Sport HSE. It costs $83,000. He puts down $10,000 and finances $73,000 over 60 months. The rate is 7.5% APR, the average for good credit in 2024. His monthly payment, $1,466. Total interest paid over 5 years, nearly $15,000. Estimated resale value after 5 years, around $37,000. That is based on the model's historical depreciation rate. Total financial loss after 5 years, about $60,000. That includes depreciation and interest, not counting maintenance. Person B, let's call him Kevin, buys a 2023 Lexus GX 460. It costs $65,000, paid entirely in cash. No loan, no interest. After 5 years, the car is worth about $45,000. Total depreciation, $20,000. 5-year maintenance runs about $2,765 per RepairPal data. Total real ownership cost, $22,765. The gap between Marcus and Kevin after 5 years, about $37,000. Now suppose Kevin invests that difference. Add in the $1,466 a month he never has to pay. He puts it into the S&P 500 at a historical average return of 10%. After 5 years, he has nearly $113,000 more. Marcus has a 5-year-old Range Rover Sport needing new air suspension. Kevin has $113,000 plus, a GX 460 that still runs great. Let's be honest, the GX 460 is not the best car for everyone in every situation. Say you live in a big city and drive 4 miles to the office every day. You do not need off-road capability, and driving feel is your top priority. In that case, the GX 460 is not the right choice for you. The V8 engine averages 16 miles per gallon in the city, per EPA ratings, Annual fuel costs run notably higher than a comparably priced AWD crossover. There is another factor to consider. Toyota discontinued the GX460 in 2023. It made way for the all-new GX550 generation. That means new units are no longer available. Only the used market remains. In the short term, that can actually be an advantage. Limited supply tends to hold values steadier, but you need to check the maintenance history carefully when buying used. Most people approach a car purchase by asking one question: how much can I afford as a monthly payment? That is the wrong question. The right question is this: after 5 years, what will this car truly cost me in total? Total cost of ownership includes several things: depreciation, loan interest if any, insurance, maintenance, and repairs. It also includes fuel and annual registration costs. A car with a low monthly payment is not necessarily the cheapest to own. In fact, the lowest payment cars often depreciate the fastest. They also tend to be the least durable and the priciest to fix later. This explains an important pattern. At equal income, total cost thinkers tend to build wealth faster. That is compared to those who decide based on emotion and monthly payment alone. It is not because they earn more. It is because they lose less in places that did not need to cost them anything. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, offers a simple definition. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. By that definition, most cars are liabilities. But the degree of liability varies enormously. And that is exactly where the real financial decision lives. Toyota launched the GX550 in 2024 with a completely redesigned look. It brings a turbocharged engine and far more modern tech than the GX460. Starting price runs around $64,000 for the Trailhead trim. It climbs to over $80,000 for the Overtrail Plus trim. Here is the interesting part. The GX550's launch pushed a wave of used GX460s onto the market. Many owners upgraded to the GX550. That means more 2019 to 2022 GX460s are now available used than before. If you are considering one, this could be a good window to buy. Look for a Lexus certified pre-owned GX460 with extended warranty coverage. That coverage typically runs up to 100,000 miles. These run 20 to 25% below their original new price. This is exactly where the smart money model pays off. Let someone else absorb the first year of depreciation. Then buy once the depreciation curve has flattened out. I want to ask you something direct. Think back to the last time you bought or considered buying a car. What was the first question you asked yourself? Was it how much do I pay this month? Or was it how much will I have lost after 5 years? If you fall into the first group, here is why dealerships love that question. It lets them stretch the loan term and lower your monthly payment. Then they sell you a car worth far more than you can comfortably afford. Leave a comment below. Do you prioritize the car that looks more impressive, or the one that leaves you wealthier after 5 years? Those two are often not the same car at all.